All right, so what's your favorite Muhammad Ali quote? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? How about Joe Frazier's so ugly that when he cries, the tears turn around and go down the back of his head? The three-time former heavyweight boxing champion of the world is celebrating his 70th birthday tonight. Born January 17th, 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky, Ali is now the oldest living former undisputed champ. My favorite by far. I've wrestled with alligators. I've tussled with a whale. I've done handcuffed lightning and thrown thunder in jail. You know I'm bad. Just last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick. It's been more than 20 years since Ali was able to communicate that way because of Parkinson's disease, but those quotes will live on forever.
They will. Yeah.
Every NBA player remembers his first career basket, but nobody will ever forget the first hoop Nuggets rookie Kenneth Faried scored tonight. Nuggets blew out the pathetic Sacramento Kings, and Faried came off the bench in the fourth quarter to provide tremendous energy, hustle, and that's what I'm talking about. Kenneth Manimal Faried, half man, half animal, off a no-look backwards alley-oop pass from Rudy Fernandez. Nuggies win 112-83.
Now the Broncos go to the next round of the playoffs.
Drew Soicher is here now, and Drew, a lot of doubters are now believers.
Yes,
in
in fact, you may be looking at one.
Yeah, right?
In a season full of thrilling, incredible, improbable finishes, that might have been the most exciting of them all. The Broncos pull off one of the greatest upsets in NFL playoff history, shocking the Pittsburgh Steelers in overtime. Broncos took a 14-point lead by halftime. Tim Tebow had an outstanding second quarter, passing for one touchdown and running for another. But the Steelers came back and tied the game late in the fourth. Ben Roethlisberger and Jericho Cotchery sent it to OT at 23 apiece. And on the very first snap from scrimmage in the extra period, Tebow throws the most perfect pass of his career, and Demaryius Thomas races 80 yards into the end zone for a game-ending touchdown. Broncos win 29-23 and advance to the second round. Exciting day on social media. My Twitter account was recognized by MLB Fan Cave, whatever that is, for having the best bobblehead doll collection. A bunch of cool pictures from my bobblehead Drewsium were posted. If you want to see them, just visit me at Drew Soicher and search for my tweets from earlier today. Just further proof that social media is the world's only 100% spring-loaded technology. People ask me all the time about my bobblehead doll collection, but it is very difficult to photograph. I finally got around to it today, and they came out pretty good. All right, I'll play this Peyton Manning to the Broncos game for the next few months if you insist, but it ain't going to happen. 8 NFL teams are expected to express interest in the 4-time most valuable player who was released by the Indianapolis Colts today. The Redskins, Cardinals, Dolphins, 49ers, Jets, Chiefs, Seahawks, and Broncos.
I haven't thought yet about where I'll play, but I have thought a lot about where I've been.
Or is there really a chance that the Broncos could actually convince him to play with them?
You know, there's a much better chance than I originally thought. I think I ran my mouth right out of the chute 48 hours ago when the Colts released Peyton Manning, and I said, no way.
Well, you have great depth of knowledge. We appreciate your expertise on this. We're all just, pretty much passing sports fans, but we really appreciate your expertise. You have a great depth of knowledge about
We know the same amount, Marky. I just fake it better.
9 News sports anchor Drew Soicher is out at Broncos headquarters in Dove Valley. And Drew, you now believe that Denver may be at least on Manning's short list.
Very short, in fact, Mark. Things have changed since Manning was originally released by the Indianapolis Colts on Wednesday. He always planned on at least speaking to the Broncos as a courtesy to John Elway, but things have changed. He is now on a short list along with the Arizona Cardinals, the Miami Dolphins, the Houston Texans are a team that interest Peyton Manning, and definitely the Denver Broncos have become a much more serious player. Originally, Manning, like I said, was going to speak to the Broncos just because he respects Elway so much. But John has said something to Peyton Manning and his representatives. I think it has to do with acquiring more talent and some receivers and some old teammates from Indianapolis for Peyton that has convinced him to seriously consider the Broncos. And if this was a game right now, it would be early in the first quarter, and the Broncos would be leading.
From Colorado's sports leader, here's Drew Soicher.
Hi, everybody. Here's what we know at this moment. former Indianapolis Colts superstar quarterback Peyton Manning, the National Football League's only 4-time most valuable player, is inside Broncos team headquarters right now, meeting with John Elway, John Fox, and general manager Brian Zanders about the possibility of joining the Denver Broncos. All along, Manning was planning on speaking to the Broncos just out of a courtesy to Elway, but I have learned this has become much more serious, and the Broncos are hoping he leaves Denver with at least a contract offer, if not a signed contract. This is still a ways away. Manning has whittled this down to a short list, which includes the Broncos, Dolphins, Cardinals, and Texans, but the Broncos are the first team to actually get Manning on campus, and they've been meeting now for nearly 5 hours inside.
And we start with breaking news about Peyton Manning. ESPN reports that Manning will become a Denver Bronco. He has instructed his agent to start final contract talks with the team. And we have team coverage about all this this afternoon. We start with Drew Soicher, who is at Dove Valley, with Rod Mackey with the latest. Good morning, Drew.
Hi, Greg. Here's what we know. Almost 2 weeks, 12 days to be exact, after the Indianapolis Colts released perhaps the greatest football player of all time, Peyton Manning picked up his telephone this morning and called John Elway directly just before 10 o'clock Mountain Time to inform him that he was indeed joining the Denver Broncos for what hopes to be the remainder of his career. He then called the remaining 2 finalists in the competition, the Tennessee Titans and the San Francisco 49ers, to inform them that he was not coming to their team and joining the Broncos. From what we're told, the place erupted here, headquarters behind me, when Elway put the phone down and informed his co-workers. You might ask yourself why the Broncos wanted Peyton Manning so badly and were willing to spend close to $100 million to get him. Well, here's your answer. Mr. Bolin really likes championship banners. He has 8 of them hanging from the ceiling here inside the lobby at the team's executive offices and training facility. And even more than that, he loves championship trophies, Super Bowl trophies to be specific, and there's still room for one more, maybe even 2 inside the case here at team headquarters in the lobby. Here we go.
Yes, that's always the thing.
Walking into the building now is Vice President John Elway. There's Peyton Manning. There's Peyton Manning arriving for his first Broncos press conference.
Peyton Manning will no doubt sign a lot of autographs during his time here in Denver, but somebody had to be first.
And you know what? Drew just seized the opportunity immediately after Manning was introduced as the Broncos' new quarterback.
I collect bobblehead dolls, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind signing. We're going to have this thing painted into a Broncos uniform.
Broncos?
So, but I think if you signed the leg,
Okay.
we would leave the pants white, and that would be front and center. I'll give it a well-lit, dust-free spot in my bobblehead
Do that.
museum. If
Perfect.
that's okay with
You
you.
got it.
Have you signed many bobbleheads before?
I haven't signed many legs in a while, so
Well, Elway signed the butt on his, so this is
keep that between you and him.
it's very funny. There's the autograph right there. Peyton Manning on the left thigh pad. It's considered very unprofessional to ask an athlete for an autograph when you're a sportscaster,
And yet,
but it's never stopped me.
From Colorado's sports leader, here's Drew Soicher.
Hi, everybody. Slight tweak to the lyrics Elton John wrote in 1973. Instead of Benny and the Jets, it's Timmy and the Jets. The Broncos traded star quarterback Tim Tebow to the New York Jets today. It's Tebow and a 7th-round draft pick in exchange for a 4th, a 6th, and $2.5 million. It's been reported that Timmy was given his choice of the Jets or his hometown Jacksonville Jaguars, but Tebow says that's not true. He's simply going where he was told to. Timmy and the Jets. Oh, they're weird and they're wonderful. Hey, get off my back already. Everyone keeps asking me when I'm going to apologize to the Broncos and Peyton Manning. Apologize for what?
Drew Soicher.
Hi, everybody. No way. I do believe the Broncos will aggressively pursue Peyton Manning. I do believe he'll listen out of respect to John Elway. But no way. I was wrong for thinking Peyton Manning wouldn't even consider the Denver Broncos, much less play for them. I went on the air and said, no way. Forget about it. 0 chance Peyton Manning comes to the Broncos.
Why?
Why'd you make me look so bad?
I don't know. Tell me why you said that.
I just thought with the whole Tebow thing, your style of play and the way this team was built recently, there were so many other teams that were closer to winning Super Bowls, and you're all about winning Super Bowls. I just thought there were so many other teams you would consider, and I did not think the Broncos would have been as aggressive as they were. I was wrong for underestimating John Elway's competitiveness, and for assuming John Fox wouldn't be flexible with his run-first offense. I was wrong for failing to recognize that despite 13 years since their last Super Bowl, the Broncos are still considered one of the NFL's elite franchises. Wrong for this, wrong for that, wrong, wrong, wrong. Did you think no way also, or did you leave it that wide open?
I was wide open.
Now, I know I'm right about one thing. Manning gives the Broncos a much better chance to win the Super Bowl than Tim Tebow ever would. However, that's not the point. This isn't about me being right, but rather wrong. And in this rare instance, I was wrong. My wife wants me to record that little I was wrong segment. Use it on her phone as my ringtone.
Dee wants her own I'm wrong.
Can I purchase that ringtone? Is it $1, $3?
Hi, everybody. To simply say there's a new sheriff in town would be an insult to Peyton Manning. This guy's Roscoe P. Coltrane from Dukes of Hazzard, Buford T. Justice from Smokey and the Bandit, and Sheriff Woody from Toy Story all rolled into one. Manning officially practiced with the Broncos for the very first time today. He was early to arrive for a voluntary workout and spent much of his day lifting weights, meeting new teammates, and making it perfectly clear why he's here. John Elway was the first overall pick of the 1983 NFL draft and has recently learned it's much easier to be a draftee than a drafter. You look exhausted.
I'm tired. You know, it's been going through this process. You know, it's an 11-month process, but really intense the last month. You know, 4 weeks to 6 weeks, and so now, you know, and it's we're excited about the draft class that we have this year, but it'll be nice to relax a little bit.
If the NFL announced tonight that they're going to hold 3 more rounds tomorrow, would you be excited, or are you drafted out?
I think we're drafted out. We're ready to, you know, I think everybody's ready for a little bit of a break, just because, you know, it's over for 3 days, and you know, it's intense, and so. But we're, you know, like I said, we're excited about who we're going to have on the team this year, and so. But we're going to look forward to the rest.
Peyton Manning hasn't been involved in a draft in 14 years. However, did he have an effect on what you guys were able to do?
Well, I mean, he obviously, when you get a guy like Peyton Manning, you know, you always keep him in the back of your mind. And I think that, you know, what we try to do is get a better football team, you know, which makes everybody better, because obviously Peyton coming in here this year is going to make us a much better football team. And so, you know, whether it be on the defensive side, or, you know, a Ronnie Hillman coming out of the backfield, or Philip Blake up front, you know, that helps him on the offensive side, but also helps him when we get those defensive guys and stop the other team's offense.
NFL executives always say, we won't know how we did in the draft for another 3, 4, 5 years when we look back. Do you buy that, or do you know right now you guys did well?
Well, it's all potential, and I think that obviously we do the best we can with the character background checks, everything that we do, and also the, you know, the physical review that we do with all the players. That, you know, we're hopeful, but it's all potential, and so you hope, you know, they step up to this level and meet the challenge, and are competitive, which we think they all are, and we all believe that they're going to make us a better football team. But you know, the bottom line is, when you're dealing with human beings, you never know. But as I've said, that we feel with the guys that we got, the character guys that we have, and what they're all about, that you know, they're going to give us the best chance to get a lot better.
When you pick up the phone call to chat with one of these draft picks, to let them know you're about to select them, do you have time to think about what a significant life-changing moment this is, and that they're going to be telling this story for the next 30 years? John Elway called me, I picked up the phone, or do you just got to make the phone call real quick?
You know, I guess I don't think of it that way, because obviously I have a lot of different things on my mind, but you know, just get on there. And I know that they're excited, because it's been a long road for them also, and the fact that with everything that they do in the offseason now, with the background checks, the combine, the workouts, you know, the visits and all those type things, they go through a lot too. So I think they're just as relieved as we are when the draft is finally over. But also, you know, after they get done playing their college football, they know they're going to go in the draft. There's a lot of uncertainty in their life, and so for them to finally get drafted by an NFL team, I think is a lot of relief for them. And so, and it, you know, and it's fun for me to talk to them, because of the excitement that you can hear in their voice. That, like you said, it's a big step. It's a big step in their life, and something they'll never forget.
I won't ask you who, but there had to be a moment during this draft that either you thought to yourself or said to the guy next to you, that's the stupidest pick I've ever heard.
I think there's always, you always look at it, and that's why you have 32 teams with different opinions on guys, and then it's amazing to watch as the draft goes down that, some guys would pick this guy that maybe we'd never pick, and it'd be interesting to hear some of the feedback on some of the picks that we make, because, and plus you have defensive schemes that are different, offensive schemes are different, people are looking for different type of people, so I think that we're always planning ahead to our next pick, and hopefully get a guy targeted, and we hope he's there by the next time we pick.
Ronnie Hillman played football once for the rap star Snoop Dogg. Are you concerned about him making the transition from Snoop's offense to John Fox?
You know what? He made the transition very well from Snoop's offense to San Diego State, so I'm sure that he's going to have no problem taking a step from San Diego State to the Denver Broncos.
Okay, thanks for your time.
All right.
Here's Drew Soicher.
Hi, everybody. It's a foregone conclusion for Carlos Gonzalez tonight. Rocks beat the Houston Astros again, and Cargo set a franchise record by homering in his fourth consecutive plate appearance. 3 last night, and
It's got a chance way back and gone. How about that? 4 ABs, 4 bombs.
that's what I'm talking about. 22nd player in baseball history to do it. Cargo had a chance to become the first ever to homer 5 straight times, but the Astros chickened out and walked him intentionally. Roccos win their 4th in a row, this time 11-5. Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Montana is celebrating his 56th birthday tonight. You may remember he celebrated his 50th by autographing my Joe Montana bobblehead on the tush. I figured at the time that doll would be worth a fortune and allow me to pay for my kids' college education, retire early. However, the signature has since faded, and today, 6 years later, there is hardly a trace of ink, no evidence whatsoever that Joe Montana signed that doll. You can barely see the end of his name there. Can you see that?
Yep.
Would you give him a crayon?
No, it was one of those skinny Sharpies. It should have stuck.
It's a disappearing ink on it.
That's what it is.
I don't want to talk about it.
He was always sneaky.
I'm done talking about it.
We'll be right back.
Tiger Woods, Jim Furyk, and David Toms all are 1 under par, tied for the lead at the midway point of the United States Open. Padraig Harrington is 5 shots back. Would have been worse if not for this birdie putt on the 7th hole. Harrington's golf ball stopped on the lip of the cup. He's not allowed to mess with it, but we can. Come on, let's blow. Stomp your feet. It worked. Harrington's at even par with 36 holes still to play.
Good job, team. I love the name.
I'm all about the preps. Quarterfinals of the Colorado State High School basketball tournament tonight. Highlands Ranch beat Mountain Vista. Austin Holderson, you're on 9 News. Falcons win 66-55. Arapahoe guard Zach Coker had to change out of jersey number 21 after getting blood all over it. And then, wearing number 42, Coker scored the game-winning basket with only 7 seconds remaining. Now he's on 9 News. Warriors beat Thunder Ridge 55-53. In 4A, Sierra beat the Evelyn by a bucket. CU recruit Wesley Gordon, you're on 9 News. Stallions win 65-63. 2A, Heritage Christian beat Holyoke on an overtime buzzer beater. Matthew McGinley, you're on 9 News. Eagles win 62-60. I'm still about the preps. State Frozen 4 hockey semifinals. Ralston Valley beat Resurrection Christian. Darius Mays, you're on 9 News. He scored 2 goals. Mustangs win 7-2. Hey, here's a helpful tip for all you youngsters out there. Don't cheat. But if you must, at least never cheat against your former teammates because they know you're a cheater. Former Rockies pitcher Joel Peralta learned that lesson the hard way last night. Peralta, who plays for the Tampa Bay Rays now, got busted for having pine tar on his glove and was ejected before ever throwing a pitch against the Washington Nationals, another of his former teams. Clearly, the Nats had insider information and used it. Peralta even tipped his cap to the Washington dugout as he exited. Whoa. I'd love to, but I have a race tomorrow. Missy Franklin has had to skip birthday parties, sleepovers, and midnight premieres of Twilight movies. Ski trips, fireworks, and marshmallow roasts. All that was okay. But this stinks. Franklin will not participate in the opening ceremonies at the 2012 London Games in order to rest for her relay the following day. The event doesn't even begin until 9:00 p.m. in London on July 27th. Missy races a leg in the 4x100 freestyle relay on the morning of the 28th. How much more must this charming young girl sacrifice to be an Olympic champion? Happy 50th anniversary. It was on this date in 1962 that Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in one game for the Philadelphia Warriors, a record which still stands a half-century later. Amazingly, no television cameras were at the game that night, and the only photograph that exists is this snapshot, which was taken after the Warriors PR guy scribbled 100 on a plain white sheet of paper and asked Wilt to pose for it. On this golden anniversary, we can recreate that moment, a dramatization, if you will, Kyle. Just pose with this photo for our camera.
I scored 10 at best. Adele carried the load. she scored the 100.
Wilt was, I'm taking about 1 foot and 1 inch taller than you. Otherwise, it looks like the same photo. Look at that. Wow. Oh, a split screen yet.
Oh, look at that.
Smile
how about
like
that?
Wilt did.
Drew, good.
I'd never wish a tummy ache on anybody, but it sure would be great if Kobe Bryant was stuck in the bathroom until about midnight. The Los Angeles Lakers superstar was forced to miss this morning's practice due to a stomach illness. Bryant, a 5-time NBA champion and 14-time All-Star, is considered questionable for the game.
Here's Drew Soicher.
Hi, everybody. Rocky speedster Eric Young Jr. delivered the most exciting start to any game in franchise history tonight. Rocks are in Los Angeles trying to make it 3 in a row over the Dodgers, and Young led off the top of the first inning with a long fly ball to center field that hit the wall and bounced back past All-Star Matt Kemp.
This could be an inside the park home run. Green light for Eric Young. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time.
That's what I'm talking about. Junior leads off the game with an inside the Parker, circling the bases in just 14 seconds, but the Rockies still trail now 6-4 in the 8th.
Here's Drew Soicher.
Hi, everybody. Imagine Barney Rubble taking over Fred Flintstone's responsibilities as the Grand Poobah of the Loyal Order of Water Buffalo's Lodge, but Fred keeps the title. That's kind of what happened with the Rockies today. General manager Dan O'Dowd got demoted, basically had his power stripped, and was sent to the minor leagues to deal with player development, yet somehow O'Dowd kept his job and title, despite the fact the Rocks have their worst record ever, and his assistant, Bill Guyvette, will now oversee daily operations at the major league level. Oh, if I had an Iguodala for every time somebody's mispronounced Iguodala this week. Nuggets introduced NBA All-Star Andre Iguodala today. The Olympic gold medalist was acquired from the Philadelphia 76ers in a 4-team trade. Iggy already had a relationship with Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke, you know. Iguodala, silent U. Thanks, Aaron. Remember that great scene in the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where the couple driving next to John Candy and Steve Martin is trying to tell them they're going the wrong way? You're going to kill somebody. Oh, they're drunk. How do they know where we're going? Thank you. Well, Kent State football player Andre Parker really did go the wrong way last night. Parker was on the Golden Flash's punt coverage when he scooped up a loose ball and...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
He's running the
You're
wrong
going the wrong way. Holy moly.
What's even funnier to me is the fact that 2 players from the other team tackled Parker instead of letting him run into the end zone. Kent State beat Townsend anyway. Rockies made baseball history today, becoming the first team in 25 years to lose back-to-back 1-0 games without allowing an earned run. Rocks were shut out by the Atlanta Braves again, and the only run scored when pitcher Yoeli Chacin was unable to handle a simple toss back to the mound.
Ball gets away from the pitcher. Francisco's coming home. Wide throw.
Only the 1987 Kansas City Royals can also say they did that. However, I bet they won't. Pop quiz, time for tonight's True or False question. True or false, Rocky superstar Troy Tulowitzki, who was given the Silver Slugger and Gold Glove awards in a pregame ceremony today, is the first National League shortstop to receive both honors in consecutive seasons. True or false, Ernie Banks, Ozzie Smith, Pee Wee Reese, or any other NL shortstop never won those awards in back-to-back years. The correct answer is...
Drew?
It's false. Tulowitzki is the third to achieve the feat, joining Barry Larkin and Edgar Renteria. Most shortstops are either great glove or great stick. Tulo is one of the rare few who is both. Have I ever mentioned how much I love sports?
Yes.
Well, now would be a good time. Because how cool is this? Earlier tonight on 9 News, I mentioned it was Philadelphia Phillies star Roy Halladay's 35th birthday, and that he learned to pitch by throwing into a mattress in his family's Arvada basement. Well, amazingly, Mindy Donaldson, the woman who purchased the home from the Hallidays, was watching and sent me a couple of pictures along with a note reading, "Everything is as it was when we moved in 10 years ago. Actually, we are afraid to move the mattress because there could be extra special bed bugs along with assorted other varmints making their homes in it. This basket contains most of the assorted balls that were lying around the basement. We sent 4 to Halladay to sign, but they were not returned."
That's sad.
If you'd like to take a closer look at the mattress, which produced a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, maybe it'll help you sleep better, simply follow me on Twitter at Drew Soicher. It's free to join Soichial Media, the world's only 100% spring-loaded technology.
You should pay them to sign up for social media.
I can't decide which is more fascinating, that the Hallidays sold the house with the basement looking like that, with some ratty old mattress against the wall,
Or that somebody kept it that way.
and hasn't moved it in 10 years. We have our first ever Drew Soicher bobblehead lapel pin winner to announce tonight. Held a caption contest on social media. Followers were asked to submit a funny title, short explanation, or description of this picture of Peyton Manning's cardboard cutout head. Entries included Papa John's new pizza boxes. My hands always turn orange when I eat Cheetos. What the heck is a bobblehead lapel pin? And the winner comes from Broomfield's Luke Staller, who delivered, "Well, I finally got rid of that lingering neck pain." If you'd like to participate in the next caption contest, simply follow me on Twitter at Drew Soicher and join Soichial Media, the world's only 100% spring-loaded technology. So the difference between this lapel pin that I am wearing tonight that will be sent to the champion of tonight's contest and a normal lapel pin is this one is spring-loaded on the head. You see that, baby? Nick the Sea Lion gained 100 pounds since the last time he predicted the winner of a football game. So I'm worried he might just swallow a ball during the 2012 season premiere of Nick's Picks.
Let's go with Drew to the Denver Zoo. It's time for Nick's Picks.
Wow, look at you, Nick, all big and sexy. Let's pick Peyton Manning's first game. Denver Broncos or Pittsburgh Steelers? Do it, Nick. Yes. Wowee. High five. Broncos. Way to go, Nick. You're off to a good start in 2012, baby.
By the way, today happens to be the 25th anniversary of Drew Soicher's broadcasting debut. Look at that hair.
He has more hair.
Got a lot of hair.
You're
We
a
dug up
chick
some tape of that first show. Take a look at this. Here we go.
They're headed east for a huge 3-game series with the Yankees. As we speak, the annual Big Ten Football Coaches Convention is taking place. The big names in Indy car racing are warming up at Michigan International Speedway, the site of Sunday's Marlboro 500.
We welcome you here.
Thank you.
And you do a nice job.
I had so much fun. I'll do it one more time at 11. Nice pipes. Thank you.
God bless Kathy Schmaltz. She's the last one to give me a compliment about my broadcasting. It's so depressing to realize a quarter century later I haven't improved at all.
But your hair, that was some good hair.
WILX
Very good. Yes, Channel 10.
How about
I'm thinking
that?
about going back to that hairstyle.
Good luck with
They loved
that.
it. And you know what?
Might take a
He was
while.
like the number 3 guy at that point.
Did I look nervous?
No, not a bit.
Terrified.
You didn't look at her.
Terrified.
You
Still
didn't
am,
even
in
look at her.
fact.
They loved
How
it.
about that? Funny.
Congratulations.
Thank you.